Tonight, the Krypton Factor begins the search for our second grand finalist with the start of Group B.
A maths teacher, an accountancy lecturer, a carpet cleaner and a juggler. They're tonight's contestants, hoping to prove that they have that special Krypton Factor.
Round 1, the assault course. 400 metres of punishing obstacles, testing contestants' physical fitness and endurance to the limit. As usual, each contestant is aiming to beat their scientifically assessed target times. So it's who performs best against their target time who wins, not necessarily the contestant crossing the line first. And the early leader, already creating a sizable gap between himself and the others, is Alistair Johnson in green, who runs a carpet cleaning business in Surbiton. Alistair, the oldest contestant tonight, has a target time of 3.5 minutes, and he's already showing the form one would expect from a former champion hurdler. But it is crucial that he paces himself correctly over the length of the course.
Our first female contestant, making light work of the wall, Heather Bosworth.
To keep fit, I enjoy cycling and walking. I recently climbed Ben Nevis, which will be good practice for the mountain at the end of the Super Round.
Well, she still has a lot of work to do before reaching Krypton Mountain in the Super Round. This is Simon Evans in yellow, who, by the way, is the first professional juggler ever to appear on the Krypton Factor. And he is closing in on the leader here, Alistair Johnson.
Getting ready for the Krypton Factor has made me get fit, which is very good. And I'm looking forward to doing my best in all the different things, especially the simulator.
Claire Nicholson in red, neck and neck with Heather Bosworth, but the real threat to Alistair at this stage remains Simon Evans.
The Super Round does look intimidating, I must admit, but it also looks like it should be great fun. As long as I survive the parachuting, I should be okay.
And Claire's getting tired now as she struggles through the flat net. Heather's pulling away from her, but there's still time for them to make ground on the leading men. And don't forget, they're battling against their own target times.
It was my mother that actually got me to do Krypton Factor. She was sick of me saying, well, I could do that. So she said, well, why don't you then?
Into the final stages, and Simon here can't afford to slacken the pace. His target time is 23 seconds less than Alistair's, so he has to overtake him. And Alistair looking tired through that water jump. Down the A-frame for Simon. It doesn't look like he's going to close that gap on Alistair, but he's got to hang on. If he slows down, both Claire and Heather could catch him. Alistair on the Burma rope bridge now, just one final push needed for him. Claire and Heather still close together, and with their target times less than Simon, there's a real chance one of them could take second place. Down the aerial slide for Alistair. This is a magnificent performance, 28 seconds ahead of his target time. That'll be enough to win in first place, surely, but who's going to be second? It won't be Claire, looking very tired now, but it could be Heather on the Burma rope bridge. Has she done enough, or has Simon Evans held on to that second place? We'll know the finishing order in just a few moments. And after the rigours of that daunting assault course, let's now welcome our contestants.
So some very good performances on the assault course, but the best time came from ex-champion hurdler Alistair Johnson.
Now the full points breakdown. Claire scores 2, Heather 4, Simon held on to take 6, and Alistair, leading from the front throughout, scores 10. Round 2 is our test of mental agility. The contestants will compete against each other to answer questions from separate groups of visual information. These groups will feature numbers, playing cards and shapes. And questions relate to the particular group they're looking at. So if they were given this set of letters, V, P, G, A, I might say 8 letters between. The correct answer would be G and P, as there are only 8 letters between them. It's touchscreen answering, and the first to select correctly wins the point. If you're ready, contestants, we start with numbers. 2 numbers greater than 8. No number between. The difference is 3. 6 letters. The sum is 1 more than 12. 1 less than half of 12. neither even nor divisible by 3. Two cubed plus 1. Now playing cards. Neither picture nor divisible by 3. Not black. Neither lower than 6 nor higher than K. 4 higher than the last image. Neither a picture nor red. Black picture. 3 cards between. Neither female nor red. Shapes. 3 sides. Neither circle nor black. Even sides. Red, less than 4 sides. 8 sides in total. Odd sides and red. Neither triangle nor red. 2 left of the 3rd image. That's it, the end of the round, and a quick glance at the computer now shows that the winner of the round with 7 correct answers is Claire Nicholson. Now all the points for mental agility. Heather scores 2, Alistair 4, Simon 6 and Claire 10. And after 2 rounds, still in the lead with a Krypton Factor of 14, Surbiton's Alistair Johnson.
Round 3, response, and our contestants have to compete with the red arrows. That's thanks to British Aerospace's multi-million-pound simulator.
As usual, the contestants are aiming to follow the aerobatics of a lead plane. The maximum score is 100, with points lost for deviations, losing contact, and particularly for crashing. The score in the 90s is test pilot standard. Let's see how good our contestants are.
Claire Nicholson, a school teacher from Cleveland, is first, and I'm sure all the pupils at Hallgarth Secondary School will be cheering her on. I'm pretty envious too, I should think. Claire joint second going into the round, tucked neatly in behind the lead aircraft, and that's where she wants to stay. The tracking score on the right tells you how she's coping. In the 80s is good, and into the 90s would be outstanding. So doing well as she levels out over Blackpool Promenade, fractionally above the leader, which is not ideal, but not a problem so far. The display above the tracking score indicates how close her contact is with the lead aircraft. And Claire's not as tightly in position as she should be. The tracking score is dropping, so she's in trouble. In the box above the tracking score, you can see just how seriously she's lost contact.
Lost contact.
The outer circle is reached, so she's just 10 seconds to find the lead aircraft again.
Lost contact.
She's searching hard.
Lost contact.
In fact, she's heading in the right direction, but just look at that tracking score tumbling rapidly. And she's not going to get out of this. It is all over, I think. Yes, it is. Hard luck, Claire Nicholson. Next, Alistair Johnson, the contest leader. And this round is such a precise hand-eye coordination test. Constant inputs required on a very sensitive control stick. And you can't afford to take your eyes off the tail of that lead aircraft for a moment. Coming out of the loop, an excellent tracking score in the 90s. He's doing superbly so far. That's Blackpool Promenade, 350 feet below. And the nose bobbing a bit. Alistair slightly overreacting on the control stick, but still in good position. Alistair from Surbiton, Surrey, was always convinced this would be his best round. It's looking very good indeed for him. Right on the tail of the leader. This is excellent flying. With that tracking score, back into the 90s it goes. And it'll stay there so long as he keeps the lead aircraft in the centre of his windscreen. Closing in on the finishing post, Blackpool Tower, that's it. And the tracking score is 91.8, brilliant, and he loves it. Can Simon Evans match that? Joint second going into the round, and a win here would put him into the lead. Tracking score excellent so far. Top of the loop, speed down to 150 knots. but picking up rapidly as he plunges down to the south shore of Blackpool Promenade. Struggling to hold it level and fractionally too high, but he can still see the lead aircraft, so he's in good shape. Pulling up through the second loop. Tracking score down into the high 80s, but that's still rated a good score. And Simon, incidentally, makes and sells juggling balls and is also a professional juggler, so his reflexes should be fairly sharp. Well, they should be, but suddenly he's in trouble. The box above the tracking score shows he's lost contact. The outer circle reached, he has just 10 seconds in which to recover. He was doing so well, the most difficult part was behind him. He just seemed to lose concentration. Although he's found the leader again now, and that is a brilliant recovery, though his tracking score is ruined, I'm afraid. And passing Blackpool Tower, 80.6. Well, he'll be kicking himself. And finally, Heather Bosworth, an accountancy lecturer from Macclesfield, in 4th place going into the round. Well, she's conquered Ben Nevis. Can she conquer the simulator? Heading up through 5Gs to the top of the loop, holding position well. A good tracking score in the high 80s. So far, so good for Heather. Now at 350 feet, wobbling about all over the place. She's overcorrecting on the control stick, and she's going to have to fight hard to hold position. So keep an eye on that tracking score. That'll indicate immediately whether she's successful or not. And that doesn't look good at all. Heather now losing contact. The box above the tracking score shows it. She's reached the outer ring, so just 10 seconds to find the leader again. She looks a bit helpless there. The tracking score tumbling down. She really needed good points here, but she's not going to get them. There is no way out of this. Bad luck, Heather, but a happy smile nonetheless.
A high-quality response round means 2 points for Claire, 4 for Heather, 6 for Simon and 10 points for Alistair. So at the end of round 3, stretching his lead with a Krypton Factor of 24, businessman Alistair Johnson.
Once again, we have a specially made state-of-the-art computer animation for our observation round. 5 questions to follow after you've closely observed times table. Five questions then on that animation, starting now. On the table, how many candles were burning right at the start? What fruit was on the floor under the table? How many butterflies were outside the window? At the start, what was the name of the magazine? Which of these sets of candles appeared in the animation? So, with 3 correct answers, Heather Bosworth is the winner of our observation round.
So 2 points for Alistair, 4 for Simon, 6 for Claire and 10 points for Heather. Which means that after 4 rounds his lead has been reduced, but still in first place with a Krypton Factor of 26, Alistair Johnson.
"75 seconds of rapid-fire general knowledge questions coming up now in round 5. There's 2 points for a correct answer and 2 points deducted for a wrong answer. And with these points vital to buy Super Round advantages, let me wish all the contestants the best of luck. And the clock starts now. Which large rodent lives in a lodge and builds dams across streams? Claire.
Beaver.
Correct. Which country was the birthplace of Lord Beaverbrook, Pierre Trudeau and William Shatner? Alistair.
Canada.
Correct. Canadian is one type of canoe used in Olympic competitions. What is the other? Claire.
Kayak.
Correct. In physics, K is the abbreviation for which scale of temperature? Alistair.
Krypton.
Wrong. Kelvin. Which tabloid newspaper did Kelvin Mackenzie edit for over 10 years? Alistair.
The Sun.
Correct. Which son of Mary, Queen of Scots, became King of England in 1603? Alistair.
James I.
Correct. Ex-President Jimmy Carter visited which Caribbean island? Simon.
Haiti.
Correct. Hatred or fear of what is called entomophobia? Alistair.
Fear of insects.
Correct. The world's largest insect is a beetle, named after which biblical giant? Heather.
Garab.
Wrong. Goliath. Which film actress played Golightly in Breakfast at Tiffany's and Eliza in My Fair Lady? Claire.
Audrey Hepburn.
Correct. Hepatitis is inflammation of what? Heather.
Liver.
Correct. That's it, the end of the round, and it means that the leader going into the super round with a Krypton Factor of 32 is Surrey businessman Alistair Johnson. But now our contestants have to decide how to use those points to give themselves the best possible advantages in the super round.
Yes, the wrong choice could prove very costly. The contestants will be leaping off this spectacular Krypton mountain in a couple of minutes.